Okay.
Oh, we're the only people in this room. Well, I'm just tech support, so.
Well, I will go through the presentation and we'll make it work.
Well, I was gonna go check on a few other people really quick.
Okay. Well, it looks like I've got everything taken care of, so I'll record it and send it along.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Crotty, as I introduced myself before we came to the breakout room. I'm the engineering faculty here at the Seattle Maritime Academy. And as I said, we have two programs, our marine deck technology and our marine engineering technology programs. And so I just wanted to start, because even though we do live in a port town, Seattle is right on the water, we see boats all the time, we don't really think a whole lot about, well, how do I start working on boats? How do I get into that industry, and how do I start that? So in the chat, what do you think is the name of a qualified rated deckhand? The people you see handling lines, when you get on the ferries, they're the people you see running around, tying things down, directing people to get their cars on board the ferries. What do you think is, what do you call those people? And so the answer is an ordinary seaman. That is sort of our basic level, entry level person in the industry, is an ordinary seaman. And like I said, we have two programs. So on the engineering side, what do you think is the name of our entry level engineering person? And that's actually B, a wiper. A wiper is the entry level person. And they're called a wiper because back in the day, oil came out of engines. It wasn't quite, as technologically sound as we have now, but wipers would be the qualified rated engineer on board of a merchant ship. And so our program is going to try to get you above that. We're going to get you beyond that entry level position on board a ship. And so what sort of documents do you need to get on board a ship? And so the documents are actually fairly minimal. All you really need to work on board a ship is a merchant mariner credential, which if you go to the Coast Guard, who is our regulating body, and talk to them, they'll be able to get you the paperwork and have you fill out a merchant mariner credential. And once you get that, that is actually a prerequisite for our program. But it's fairly easy to get, and getting into the industry is a lot easier than a lot of people think. But that doesn't necessarily mean you know a lot about what the industry is about. And, the first time you step on board a ship, there's a lot of terminology and a lot of things that you may not think about when you first get on board a ship. And so that's what we're here for. That's what we're here, and what our program is here to help you do. And so we have our marine engineering technology program. And so we get you above that wiper level to become a qualified member of the engineering department. That means you have experience with engines, with refrigeration plants, with all of the various systems you're going to see on board a ship down in the engine room. And we really try to make it a hands-on program. We have a diesel simulator lab. We have a number of vessels that are owned by the school that we work on. And at the end of the program, we send you out on an internship to make sure you have real world experience before you graduate and before you go out and get your first job. And we have the same thing on the deck side. So before you step foot on a ship, we want to make sure you know, how do I handle lines? Lines being those ropes that we hold the boat against the dock with. There are a number of terms that are very specific to boats. And if you step on a boat and go, hey, that rope right there looks like it's not working properly, Well, at first, people are going to look at you a little funny because you've called it a rope instead of a line, but then they're going to go and hopefully they'll fix that and make sure the boat is tied up properly. But learning how to tie up the boat properly, and not just that, but navigation, how to interact with other boats on the water, making sure you know who has the right of way. These are all very important things to know as a deck officer. And so, ordinary seamen, when you start our program, we are an able seaman program, and then when you graduate, you'll be an able seaman, which pays better, gives you more opportunities, and gives you more responsibility on board the boat. People know that you know things, and so you'll have more freedom and more things to do, really. So we have the able seaman, which is an unlicensed position, all the way up to the mate, who is an officer in charge of a navigation watch. So he has done enough sailing, has enough knowledge, has taken all of the tests that require him, that the Coast Guard requires to prove that he knows everything, all of his experience. And so in order to get there, usually you'll go through an AB to mate program, or you can go through what they call the hawse pipe. Just by doing the job for long enough, you'll gain the experience and gain the knowledge to be able to become a mate. And eventually, as a mate, you'll work your way up to becoming the master, the captain of the ship. You will be the person that everybody goes to when they are not sure what to do. And you'll have that responsibility. Anything that happens on board a boat, the master knows about it. They are in charge and they are at the top of the totem pole. And so by taking our program, you can sort of start that process of becoming an able seaman and working your way up and eventually running your own ship. And it's very similar on the engineering side. So we start as an ordinary seaman, as a wiper. You go through our QMed program and you become a qualified member of the engineering department. So once again, you've proven to people that you know all of the things that you know. You've gone through the program, you've learned about engines, all of the equipment in the engine room, and you know all of that stuff. So people are willing to trust you with all of that equipment. And so after you become a QMed, you'll work your way up to becoming a third assistant engineer, an officer in charge of an engineering watch. And so again, there are two ways to do that. You can take a third assistant engineer program, or you can go up the hawse pipe, either through more schooling or just experience, working your way up to becoming a third assistant engineer. And then as you become a third assistant engineer, you'll work your way all the way up to the chief engineer. So the chief engineer is in charge of the entire engine room. He is at the top of the totem pole down in the engine room, and he knows how it works, how it operates, how it's supposed to sound even. I know engineers who they'll be walking around on deck of the boat and they'll hear a shift in the engine operation and they'll go, I know exactly what's happening. And they'll be able to go down and take care of it if something's wrong. Or if it's just a shift in the engine going from a low gear to a high gear, they know that. They know what they're doing, and they're incredibly impressive, to be honest, but very, very capable and competent people. So our faculty are on the deck side, captains with experience in all sorts of vessels, passenger vessels, tugs, ferries, tankers, any boat that you see out in the Sound or going along the cut on Lake Washington. We have people who have worked on those boats. So you're getting, you're learning from people who have firsthand experience. And the same on the engineering side. Our engineering faculty are licensed chief engineers with experience in diesel plants, in steam plants, in gas turbine plants. The variety of ships out there in the industry is fairly broad. And so we try to get as much experience in our faculty as we can. And we've been very lucky in who we've managed to lure in to teach here at the Seattle Maritime Academy. Nope, went too fast. So what exactly do you learn? You learn a huge variety of topics. Working on board a ship, whenever you are out at sea, you're on your own. The only people available to help you are the people on board the ship, which means everybody has to have a pretty good idea for a number of things. So you'll learn your basic seamanship, which is how to handle lines, how to tie up a boat properly, how to check oil on your engine, all of that sort of stuff. You'll learn how to stand a watch. You'll learn what the engine room is supposed to sound like and smell like, all of those things that tell you if it's operating properly or not. And the same on standing watch up on the bridge. While the ship is underway, somebody has to be up on the bridge, not just steering the ship with their hands on the wheel, but keeping a lookout and seeing, well, what other boats are out there? What sort of navigational things do we need to keep track of to make sure the boat stays on track? You'll learn how vessels are constructed, all the way from the shipyard, all the way up to ships going back into shipyard to have major repairs done. You'll learn all of the terminology, how to use the tools, how to stay safe out on board a boat. Like I said, when you're out on board a boat, you're the only people out there. So if there is a fire, if the boat starts taking on water and flooding, you have to be able to respond to that. And we'll teach you how to do that, and we'll make sure you're competent and ready whenever that happens. I say whenever that happens. Hopefully that shouldn't happen, but you'll be prepared for it. And you'll also get an introduction to shipboard engineering. Even if you're a on the deck side program, we'll get you a solid grounding in the engineering that you might run into on board your boat. So you have a pretty good idea of what's happening both up on the bridge and down in the engine room. And even on the engineering side, we do a little bit of both. So you will become a well-rounded mariner, knowing what's happening across the entire ship. So after you graduated, what sort of jobs are out there? Like, where do you go from there? As a deckhand, you have an average salary of $48,000, which isn't bad. And the schedule is often 28 days on board the ship, where you are living and working on board the ship. And then you get 28 days off, which is yours to do whatever you want with. You can go home. You have all the time in the world to work on your hobbies, stay with your kids if you happen to have kids. You have 28 days of freedom. And it's very similar for an oiler. On the engineering side, you get paid a little bit more because down in the engine room, there's a little bit more technical expertise that's required. So they tend to get paid a little bit more, but the schedule is very similar. 28 days on, 28 days off. You have just an incredible amount of flexibility and freedom to really do whatever you want to with your free time. And when you're making a decent amount of money, it opens up all kinds of possibilities. To be honest, the schedule and the salary were the reasons that I got into shipboard life and working on board a ship. And it's given me incredible opportunities. I cannot speak highly enough of it. So if you have any questions, our dean is Dale Bateman, and our admin support is Barbara Saiga. They will be able to walk you through the whole process from applying here at school, going through the Coast Guard process to get your Merchant Mariner credential. They will walk you through the entire thing, answer any questions you have. Barbara especially is incredible. She's incredibly helpful and has a deep knowledge of the whole process. Dale, our dean, is a former Coast Guard officer. He sailed for many years on Coast Guard vessels, including ice-breaking tugs up north in Alaska and up in the Arctic. We are incredibly lucky to have him as our dean, and they are both incredibly knowledgeable, as is our entire staff. So thank you. If you have any further questions, please give us a call, send us an email. We are passionate about our industry and about teaching other people about our industry. We want to get you on a boat. We want to make sure you have a great time out there. And we want to make sure you are a competent, confident mariner, and you'll be able to do great things. And I look forward to seeing it. All right. If you are all finished, you can go back to the main session. If other sessions are still going on, please feel free to join them and explore everything you've got. Thank you.